Fill up the bar and tell us. Hello and welcome to the internet. You're on it. We're on it. Let's talk about some knitting. I'm Sarah, also known as Imagine Landscapes.
And I am Katie, also known as Roar114. Welcome to our monthly show and tell to complement, add to our every other week audio podcast, where we show you the things we've been talking about. Usually Sarah has more to show and talk about than I do because I'm slower with projects and I've been taking forever to knit the same two things.
You have been. They're big though.
They are, yeah. This time we're also going to be talking about some Adventy things.
Yes, we will announce them well in advance of doing things with them. So don't worry about that. We're also not cool enough to be in all the cool, very popular ones. So the odds someone doing it is following us, it's like, it's lower. Yep. So let's start off.
This time we're also going to be talking about.
Okay, you good?
Yep.
I just want to start off by saying that show notes for this episode are loosey-goosey. And what we do is we just link to prior episodes of the audio podcast where we do greatly detailed show notes so that this can be a fun weekend get together as opposed to another thing for me to do. That's work.
Yes.
So there will be links at the end if you're watching this afterwards, but they're not going to look impressive, but they're going to go somewhere really impressive.
That's hilarious.
All right. Do you want to talk about tea? That's usually how we kick off.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just distracted. Normally we've got people chiming in the chat by now, and there's nobody yet. So I was just making sure that I had it shifted around. But yes, so well, Sarah, do you want to start with what tea are you drinking today? Are you still drinking, is it Red Rose, or are you drinking something special?
I've gone to English breakfast rather than Red Rose.
Oh, yeah.
That's my standard tea. It's the Twinings brand. I was late, so it's still got the tea bag in it. And in about a minute and a half, I'm going to empty it into a tiny little bowl. And then I'll see how hot it was, because it was boiling about 2 minutes ago. So
yeah.
But it's just, I've switched to black tea, and now someone's in the chat. Thank you for those of you in the chat to make sure that we know we exist on the internet, as we so boldly proclaimed that we did.
It's true.
What about you?
I have not even had a sip yet. This is still steaming. Oh, there we go. Now you can see it.
Yeah.
This is ice wine tea from the Banff Tea Company, because a colleague of mine was going to Banff and I was talking about how I still had this ice wine tea that I bought there whenever we were there for a family reunion. So like 8 more years ago, and how I've got tiny little bits left and I've just been like rationing it out. And so I came into work one day after working from home for a day, and there was a sleeve of ice wine tea from the Banff Tea Company. And so it was very, very sweet. This time it's a black ice wine tea.
It wasn't last time?
No, I think I got white tea, because for me, if something's got a lighter flavor like peach or lychee or ice wine, I would go for a white tea. So I added just a tiny little splash of milk to it to kind of undo some of the tannininess or whatever of the black tea. Oh, Barb, I'm glad you got power. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to having a sip. I'm smelling it. It smells wonderful, but it's still, as we've discussed, my water boils hotter than yours. So I'll try it now and see how badly it burns me.
Well, like mine was just boiling, so I haven't had a sip of mine either. Although it is now, I did take the tea bag out.
That's lovely.
Oh,
it's really lovely. There's just like a note of something.
So let's do advents. I'm not doing a commercial advent opening kind of thing. Well, not in terms of opening yarn. I am knitting advent socks. So there's like a stripe to reveal, but we'll do that in the knitting part. Again, I will give fair warning. But I'm going to do my advent, which does not need warning, people, because it's just literally mine. I made it. You can't have it. But you could make your own.
Because it's gnomes.
Yeah, so I got these from Etsy, and if you search on the blog Advent project. It will come up. I have all my details. I did a mixture of fingering weight and DK weight. This is clearly a fingering weight. They're all variations of the Naomi pattern from No Fun Like Gnome Fun. I found a similar palette in both the DK and the fingering weight, and then just played with it. Because Naomi is top down, it's really easy to just like throw in a stripe, change a color, do an Estonian braid, go back and duplicate stitch. Some of the beards are knit with like a fluffy cashmere yarn that I have that works for fluffiness, and some of them I just made taller, some of them I made fatter. So it's really varied. And then what I did is I put a light bulb stitch marker on each one. And then if you are easily nauseous, blink for a moment, because what we're going to do is we're going to wander my computer monitor. Like, can we see? Yeah, there we go. Let's go hang it up. Let's make sure I'm still on camera.
You are.
Put it on my garland. Oh, that's facing away. Got to face towards me.
What else is on that garland, Sarah?
Yesterday's gnome. And then the garland itself is like little wool balls and like leaves cut out. So it's just felted wool that someone has cut out and strung on a string. And it's just great because it's like frequent enough that they stop the gnomes from all just sliding to the middle.
Yeah.
But it's not so fat that I have to figure out how to attach the stitch markers. Like, right, because if it was like a green garland, there's lots of fluff and actual like wires in the center, or if it's actually like from a tree, there's branches, whereas this kind of string-based one is really great. And the link to both the bags and the garland are in the blog post over on imaginelandscapes.com if you're interested. There's also some stuff on Ravelry. So, and I do that every day, and it's really, really fun.
Nice. I am doing my first ever yarn advent calendar. And so I got, Sarah, you sent this my way in like February or something. Yarn Ink, INK. It's not a company I'm terribly familiar with, but their mood board color thing was all really lovely, kind of dark burgundies and a little bit of kind of some what looked to be quite lovely, like rosish colors and stuff.
Yeah. It was like frosty burgundies. Like it was like
really moody. And so I ordered it. And so I'll show you both days. So I opened yesterday's already. Oh, I didn't bring the thing with me to tell me what the name is. The names are astounding for this. So this one has just a faint pinkish tinge to it. And just a little bit of speckles.
That is really subtle. Oh, there I can see it's pink. Yeah, against your white.
Yeah, just super duper subtle. So that's the first one, and I haven't opened the second one yet. So, oh no, we're fine. These things separated, and I thought I'd lost one of them.
Oh.
I'm planning on putting them back in the bag every day so that I can keep track of what color they are, because each skein is labeled. So, all right, so this is the second one. I haven't seen it yet. Oh yeah, just a little bit.
Here. A little bit darker, a little more speckled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty.
It is. It's not really a pink that I would have bought on its own, but I'm interested to see because there's some really lovely darker bits in there. I'm really interested to see where this goes.
This is the kind of pink I can get behind. I don't know if I'd wear it. I've been thinking lately, actually, that I need to go into a store and just try pink on because I've been so anti-pink for so long, but they've done some good stuff with pink lately. That is lovely. My
red glittery nails are blowing this out. Just how white my skin is in winter is blowing this out. But there's some really nice, like it looks like somebody smashed a cherry.
Oh,
like a nice dark red cherry and just put that in there. Now, I didn't realize this, and I don't think it was labeled as such. But yesterday I got an email from Yarn Ink that somebody that they're friends with, who's a pattern designer, designed a pattern for this fade, for this yarn, and then announced that it was a fade. And so there's a black and white picture of a pattern to go with it. It looks like it's maybe a wearable blanket.
Like big stole.
Yeah. But it starts, so this one has 24 minis and then one full. And the full is what I open on the 25th. And the pattern starts with the 20 with the full. But also because it's black and white, I can't really actually tell what the pattern looks like. Um,
Chevrony.
yeah, it looks also like maybe kind of brioche-ish. Like
Oh, okay, maybe yeah,
there's I see that more than chevron.
you're right.
Um,
I actually, but it does zigzag. I think it was like a ribbing and a zigzag chevron kind of a thing was what I
anyway,
was seeing.
I've learned that I don't really do mystery patterns well, and so I'm going to wait until I can see what it looks like fully and
Yeah.
what the yarn looks like before I decide what I'm going to do with it. But yeah, so I'm really excited to see what this looks like. It's my first, like, I haven't done an advent calendar in years.
Yeah.
So
I love the Advent experience. I love this idea of anticipation and little things really bringing the day to life. I think it's such a special time of year where the whole world just agrees, like we are going to be cozy. Even Instagram, it's like everything it's suggesting to me is, would you like to craft? Would you like to see pictures of animals and cardigans? That's like my entire suggested post thing right now. I know that in January, Instagram's going to be like, would you like to see fitness influencers? And would you like to see this? And I'm like, no, bring me back the goddamn cozy animals and cardigans. Like, why do we turn that button off? Like, why do we turn off our Christmas lights? It's not like it got light out. I have a whole like beef with the fact that we're like, we are so good at December. And then we're like,
yeah.
just suffer for a couple months.
Well, and I think our family is also really good with anticipation. And I think that's something that mom really instilled in us. And for me, it's true to today that my anticipation of something happening is not a large, well, yeah, it's a large part of the joy I get. There's something that's gonna be happening next summer, and I'm already like in my head, just like every day thinking about it and thinking about, well, what if this and what if this, and yeah, like it's just I love that part of it. And growing up, we didn't have a lot of like the gimmicky advent calendars or the
But it was like
chalk
ritual based.
ones. Sorry?
Right? Like it was ritual based. It was like you got to
Yes.
hang something, like there was like a little felt calendar and you got to do this, or you got to open a window on
Yeah,
one of
you
those.
and I each had a paper advent calendar
And
that I
we
hope
do
mom
like
still
lighting
has.
candles around the
Yes.
table. And like it was much more small, but again, like it was just proof that you don't need a lot. You just need to sit down every day and be like, what is cool? One of the things we're doing, I don't have a really good picture of it. It's hard to take during the night, but I got one that I saw on the Finnish Knitting podcast last year. And it's a Dutch artist and this incredibly thick cardboard. And it's Mr. Badger's Cozy Burrow. And you build this like little like burrow. It's like got a back, two sides, and a roof and a floor. And every day you put in like a piece of furniture or a friend, and they're all just cardboard. And you just like there's little holes in the bottom, and you just so yesterday was day one, and we put in the wood stove. Like
Oh, oh, I hope you're taking um tripod pictures so that you can stitch it together into a video at the end.
that's a great idea. Maybe I'll stage that.
Yeah, you got enough going on this month.
Once I figure that out and I have good lighting, and I'll just like make that happen. Or,
Yeah,
but I need to figure out like maybe today. It's only day 2 of Advent, and like you got to figure out
yeah.
like when am I doing this? Is it after I release one of the gnome clues, or am I going to do it in the evening when we're because the family's doing like the Mr. Badger stuff at supper? I don't know. Like you got to
Yeah,
figure it out.
yeah.
But makes yeah, it's a wonderful time of month.
Allison, I've never done a tea calendar for Advent. No, 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 I haven't. I was like, no, wait, no, I haven't. And I think that would be really fun too. I know David's Tea does them and a bunch of other tea companies. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I hope the teas are delicious that you're getting.
So everyone who's Southern Germany, way to go on the snowfall. You guys got hammered overnight.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome, the pictures I'm seeing. So enjoy yourselves. Go make some snowballs after this, okay? Throw something at somebody. Uh,
Um, so we were chatting offline earlier about how many things that we've got. So I have 2 projects and a swatch.
all right. I have technically 4 whips if we're counting embroidery, and I have 4 finished objects, but one, like they can kind of get grouped. So do you want me to just go finished objects and then we'll talk? Okay. So I
My
taught a class,
eyebrows did really fun things when you're talking about how many things you have.
okay, but like one. So I taught a class on Santa Noah. Santa Noah is currently just a class exclusive. Although I also handed him out to everybody who did the Year of Gnomes, got this as well for free. So congratulations to all 200 and some of you who knit a gnome each month. You have Santa Noah. He's kind of a halfway between Noah and Naomi.
He really
And then,
looks like a wine barrel.
yeah, he's got a real sturdy little section here.
Well, and
So
with the
that was
black at the bottom and then the one in the
yeah,
middle, all you need is the black at the top, and like he would literally be barrel shaped
yeah,
with
he
the
really is
metal
that way.
around it.
So that was super fun. I had only ever made 2, and apparently I gave away the one with arms because during class I only had an armless sample to refer to. So I was like, oh, I better remember not to give this one away. Um, we'll give this one away when I decide to do that. Then I just spontaneously cast on and knit a gnome one weekend using leftover sock yarn. Actually, this blue, Katie, that is the ancient no, Anzula. Remember you got a kit of Anzula and you knit a scarf for me? A shawl, I mean, like you did a
Oh
shawl
yeah, yeah.
sample. Yeah, so this is leftovers of that Anzula squishy. It's so
Super
amazing.
doesn't
And then
look blue.
this is a greeny aqua kind of speckly thing. And together, it's basically the pattern Natasha from No Fun Like Gnome Fun, but I just tweaked it a little bit to make it stripy and to make this extra long. And then I just wanted a new gnome to put in the photos this year for the storybook.
Yeah.
So I just wanted something a little simple. And I don't know, there's something about the speckles and then the stripes like tying together. And then I
Yeah.
chose, there's multiple beards in that pattern. And I did the one where the garter stitch
Yeah, I
is,
like that one. Vertical. Yeah.
it just looks like hair that way, right? As
Yeah.
compared to the ones where it's horizontal. So that was, I mean, again, that was like a Sunday, just having fun. And then I also needed to go to an appointment. And rather than grabbing my emergency sock, I decided to cast on an emergency gnome
Sometimes. Yeah.
sometimes, but it has a very serious purpose because this is going with this for Christmas.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, look at show me that beard. It looks different.
It's also knit side to side, and it is yellow. It's this yellow here from
Okay.
this
But
is
it
dye for
almost,
you.
yeah, there was something about that's a prairie berry. There's something
Yeah.
about the way that that beard looks that it almost looks like you cast on an extra stitch to make it like go extra at the edge.
Oh,
There's something
no,
about the way that did you
huh.
tack it down or something?
No, it's
It looks like from here, it looks like the
yeah,
bottom 2 stitches. There's something different in that,
interesting.
like all the way around.
No, it's just a cute little gnome. And I was really lucky. It changed. I could see that it was going to change color. So I just knit a couple extra rows solid here. And then as soon as it changed color, I just went with it. I'm getting unstable internet notes. So if this goes bad, I'm
I was gonna
sorry.
say you froze for me. I wasn't
Um,
sure if I froze for you.
nope. And then, yeah, so then after this, I cut the yarn so I could get the color change. And then I went and found this, just so I could have more. But I mean, I didn't even get a whole gnome body out of the colors, like a
It's
stripe, right?
so
Like,
cute. It's so
but
cute.
yeah. So and then I got one more. And these had their day in the sun, surprising Katie's pants off, but I finished them this month. So the Santa disco jumpsuit.
I
Uh,
love them so much. I cannot wait to see them in person. You had better be wearing those on Christmas Day.
oh yeah, I wore them yesterday.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, those are astoundingly Christmas.
They are just so much. So this is Winterzauber from botanetta.com.de. I don't remember the whole thing. Anyways, it's the German website. It's a major crafting website. Like it's like if Michael's was online, kind of.
Okay.
Um, although it's got more, it's cooler, but kind of that vibe. But yeah, they have their own brand of sock yarn called Woolbutt, pronounced differently, but not in English. And we're gonna go with that. And then this, they had a set of three different kinds of like this Santa jumpsuity kind of stuff with different patterns. And I think I got all three balls for less than 20 euros. Like that is so cheap.
Yeah.
And the yarn is soft. Like it's not, it's like it's soft for workhorse. It's not even as rough as like say Opal is quite rough.
Yeah.
Regia is often, but this is a little softer than that, even with all this disco power.
I should loan you these glittery earrings to go with that.
Yes,
That's awesome.
absolutely.
That's so awesome.
So yeah, three gnomes and a pair of socks. But then I've got four works in progress. So I'm going to take a drink of tea. You have two works in progress and a swatch. So why don't you go first,
Yeah.
and then we'll bounce back and forth.
So I've been ignoring the rad vent. When I'm knitting, it's not been the thing that I've been needing to do because I'm at a transition point. So it's just sitting still. Um, but tomorrow I have knitting day marked in my head for what's going to happen. So this is the second sleeve slash body slash thing. So I'm about at the point where I'm gonna separate out this and then I'll just be knitting the back part. So this is mystery yarn with way more stellina than ever shows up here. It's really hard to actually get it to glitter. Oh, there's some of it.
Yeah.
But this is, yeah, so it's mystery yarn. So I'm almost done the second one. And just as a reminder, this is what a rad vent looks like before you join the two together. So we've got this flat part here. And then this is about where I am on the other one. So that's this, and this is going to be a Christmas present, so I better start ignoring all my other stuff and get my button gear on this
Pretty
one.
close though. Like if you have tomorrow to kind of get you over that like transitional.
Yeah, and if I like do the seaming when I reach that point immediately, because seaming up the back is another part where I could see myself pausing. But you know, like I've got my dining room table is like fresh. Oh, I'm gonna plant a pot on it this afternoon, but I'll clean it off so that it's ready to go. This poor plant,
It's not doing well.
I put it in thing on the wall, and it started to look not that great. And then I realized that what's happened is there's something about the way that pot is and the way I've got it strung up that when I water it, all of the plants have been lifting out. And so it's dying. So, which sucks because this thing has been really, really healthy. So I'm going to have to figure out, it's going to come off the wall. I'm going to put it into a different pot. So I'm going to do that this afternoon, and then I'll clean off the table so that I'm ready to seam this thing tomorrow so I can just have that ready to go. Although I guess I'll probably be seaming on my lap because it'll be grafted. But whatever. I want to make sure that I'm setting myself up for success to just get that over that hump so that I can start doing the waist hem there and just move on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because that would be great.
What about you? Should I show another thing or no? You should go.
No, I'll go. So the thing I am currently knitting on is a second sock, which is not as exciting as the first sock. So I'll show the first sock.
Hey.
It is difficult to tell, but this is a 3-stripe sock, dark green, black, gray. I'm trying to hold it so that it catches the light a little bit.
I can see it through my monitor. Yeah.
Yeah. In person, it's subtle. Like it is, most people think it's a 2-stripe sock, like a 2-color sock. But I'm doing this with leftovers from when you and I did all those sock heads. Plus I bought some more stuff for making work sock kind of yarns. And so I'm striping these and having lots of fun. They're 10 round stripes. I did an extra long cuff. I did 10 rounds in each. And that's where I'm at right now, is I'm in the third color.
Nice.
almost ready to switch to stockinette. But I would like to get these done for Christmas. So I also need to focus. I figured out that my plan is to be done 5 socks by Christmas. In the middle of my busiest work time of year. So, might not happen.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's okay. It's great to have goals.
Uh-huh.
How about you? What else are you working on?
Okay. Sorry, I am like 5 stitches away from finishing a row, so I'm just gonna
Yeah.
scooch
So
past
this
that. So, I can go. So I'm at a point with the Snuggle is Real where, so this, I'm supposed to actually knit this pattern for another 3 inches, but I feel like this is already deep enough for how deep I will actually wear this, right? I will probably not ever cover my entire face with this thing.
But you want extra depth.
Yeah, but even this,
Yeah.
this will, as it softens up, this is a lot to get in here.
Yeah.
Ready?
And you have to add the ribbing on top as well.
The ribbing on top plus more fabric on the inside. So, oh yeah, and this is that one spot that I noticed when we were recording last time. I somehow managed to make this one stitch just a little bit longer here.
Oh, you slipped it an extra row, it looks
Yeah,
like.
but that's it. That's the only thing on this whole thing. This is beautiful. It is smooshy. A friend was just over, her oven broke on December 1st, the audacity. And so she can't get a new one until probably January because of supply chain or whatever. So she came over to bake her bread that she'd already been proofing. And she's my knitter friend, so or like the one I go over to for knit night. So she picked this up. It's like, oh, it's so smooshy. So this is the
DK, right?
Sorry?
It's DK on that side.
This is also DK. Yeah. Yeah. Now, the way the pattern is written, so there's this, it's got a drawstring as well as the ribbing up at the top. And the way the pattern is written, the drawstring is the last thing that you do. And then you have to like feed it through because you actually tack that down before you start the next part. So I decided that's silly. And so I've started the I-cord already for the drawstring. But I have to do 50 inches of I-cord. And so I'm working on it.
You've
and
got a lot though.
Yeah, so this is halfway. Yeah, I got smart. So without it having the weight of the needles, I'm actually quite close now.
You are.
To
That's
being
awesome.
to being done, and then I'll pick that up and keep going again. But also, this is the color that will be the inside.
Yeah, that's exciting.
And I am so heckin' excited about that.
Yeah.
I will need to take some pretty precise measurements when I decide to be done because the outside is DK and the inside is fingering. I can't just go by row, the number of rows before I'm done. So yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited about kind of being at a transition point for this. And this the I-cord has been going faster than I thought it would, which is nice. But yeah, this purple is just so scrumptious.
What was the name of that one again?
Mahogany. Yeah. So very excited about moving on to that next thing.
I'll talk about 2 projects next. They're both Advent socks. So, well, okay, they're both socks with self-striping yarn for this season. One of them is specifically called the Advent socks, and the other one is called the Hibernal Solstice. So I'm going to start with the Cozy Knitter. This is a Canadian dyer that everyone on earth is knitting. It's probably it is the Christmas sock. So I don't know if she invented the idea or she just like hit the sweet spot. I have only done day 1, so there is a spoiler in that there is a color coming off of it, but this is how far I've gotten on each sock. So they come as 50-gram skeins. So, there's like a little thing to show you which end to start on. My friend winds them up for me. Usually she participates, and it's actually her teenage son who does it for both of us. And what it ends up looking like is it comes out of like a gift bag, and there's like one end and one end. And so that, like I can't see really what's coming next. I mean, I can see the next color because I knit until it changes color.
Yeah.
but I can't see beyond that. And so it's like just a big mystery. Now, this is a very not great
Yeah.
package for, especially
Super
because I now
not
have
travel.
no. So, but I need to find like a basket or something so that at least when I go to grab it, I'm not like separately grabbing a paper bag and then all these
Yeah.
ends and stuff. Um, Especially since I have this second sock now. I thought I missed the ordering window for this. And so when I saw the solstice one, I was like, great, I'll do that instead. And then that she was like, she opened up again and said, okay, so now that the pre-orders are done, now I'm selling, like, I don't know, it was like a second pre-order or something. I don't know. And I was like, do I want to do it? I've ordered this other thing, but I've done it every year since I discovered it.
Yep.
I'm going to do it. So
Yep.
I did end up ordering that. So the second one is from the Wool Baron. And again, I didn't wind this myself. So I ordered, there were a couple options. I ordered, it looks like I chose the sparkly one. And I ordered, so it's a 21 stripe because it's solstice, but there are 3 minis. And so you can make it 24 if you want, or if you want like heels, toes, and cuffs. So I did actually do the cuffs a day early, and I used one of the minis. Again, my friend wound this up, and then I actually had Reiner go and wind it up again because she put all of this in one bag. So this used to have 5 strands coming out of it because it had the 2 from here, one for the main for the hibernals. So this is from the Wool Baron. So a 2 cozy knitter, 1 main for the Wool Baron, plus 3 minis. And it was like I could actually feel myself having issues. Plus, I wanted to split the Wool Baron into 2 balls so that I could be doing the 2 socks at the same time. So I had Reiner rewind it for me and open things up and separate them. So I've got 1 mini, which is definitely sparkly, and yes, my main color is also sparkling. So just give me a sec here. So these ones I'm going to do on DPNs because I have 3, but not 4 circular ones. So this was the mini, a little silver sparkle, and then I've got a little pink bit here. And I have just no idea what to expect, and I think this is great. I love that it started off orange. There's something about like I couldn't quite tell, like, because there are 3 minis, but they're like there's like a leading color coming off, it looks like, and so I wasn't totally sure if it was like Reiner had left something, or anyways, I didn't choose orange on purpose, but I'm actually really excited that it's orange, just to just be so cheerful and so bold. So yeah, day 1 was pink and orange, which is just like, wow, what a combination.
What a combo. I decided to start a swatch because I needed to do some knitting during a meeting. I don't often get to knit during meetings in my job, but had one. So I wound up some of the yarn for the rapid run and decided to cast that on. So this is what I'm knitting as part of the Imagine Knitting Cal.
This is that massive
Yeah,
thingy.
the big wearable blanket from Casapinka. And so I picked one of for folks who haven't been listening, it's a big square that's got a slit to halfway down, so you can kind of wear it like a big Ruana. And it's done in a charcoal, a lighter gray, and then intarsia bits of another color. And so I got them to do, this is from the Smiling Sheep, and I got it at the Manitoba Fiber Festival this year. And they did a custom colorway for me based on one of their other colors because their version of it had green and I didn't want that. So I decided to cast on the swatch with the custom color just to see. And so this is what it's looking like so far. Yeah, I love it.
So wheat field.
It's very wheat fieldy. Yeah, it's true. And so the nice thing is that the swatch is supposed to be in garter because the whole thing is in garter, and it's got some really good, like it's schroings very well. There was like a join right after I cast on. So I do have 3 skeins of the extra colorway, and I don't need all of it. So in a rare move, I might actually cut my swatch and then just kind of set this aside. But I haven't measured it yet. I've just been enjoying knitting. It is lusciously soft. Um, and when it gets really cold at work, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I should probably measure it soon just to make sure that I'm close to gauge. Um, but yeah, I'm loving this. This is a great color. As you said, it's very wheat fieldy. And it's gonna look like such a good pop with the grays.
Yeah, it will.
So
And it's funny, it's like a fresh classic now, the gray with yellow
yeah,
look. It's like modern, but like no one's it's also kind of timeless. Like you could wear it with a lot somehow. Like I
yeah,
think it's a really neat combination.
yeah. And because the thing will be mostly gray, I'll be able to wear it with pretty much anything at work. So that's really great too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I have on the go at the moment. I think you have one more thing?
I wanted to have another thing. I want to do a baby bunny toy as part of the indie gift along. It's a really
Oh,
great
fun.
thing to like knit from other people's patterns. They really encourage it. For one thing, as a designer, you can learn so much from how something else is phrased, how they format things, their approach, the whole thing. And this baby bunny is really adorable, but the yarn I chose just does not want to be knit at the gauge. And I don't even care about gauge because it's a toy. I hated the process of knitting this yarn tightly. It had like it's not good for that yarn. That yarn is not happy at the tight gauge. And it
Yeah.
also is like it's textured, so it looks kind of cute and fluffy and bunny, but I couldn't read my stitches. And the last thing I need right now is to be like trying to count to 20 rows in an
Yeah.
unreadable yarn at this time of year when I'm this busy. So I have another yarn in a like it's supposed to be bulky weight, and then it's still only going to be like this big. So I was like, okay, but I have a DK that's so maybe it'll be like this. So now I'm going to try worsted that I think is a good. It's like a natural
Oh.
wool. It's a bit woollier than I can wear. It's a skein that I'm like, what do I even do with this? I feel like we got it in the bag when we went to Vogue Minneapolis.
Oh.
Like it has like gift bag from yay years ago
I don't
vibes.
think we got bags for that though.
But like I have a weird book, like a random book I got there too. And
Oh, I think I got rid of that in one of the moves.
yeah. So anyways, I've got this Bare Wools, I think it's called, but it's like a slightly sheepier, like slightly crunchy for my skin, and our
Yeah,
family.
rustic.
So I don't have that. I cast it on, got a little bit in. I was like, so anyways, I'm gonna show my Advent that is embroidery, so it's not a spoiler, because it's also last year's. But the idea is that there are 23 trees. On day one, you do the hills. And then day two, this morning, I woke up first. Well, not first thing. First thing I did all the knit along stuff. But then I did this little, I wish I
Very
could show you.
cute.
It's a lazy daisy stitch. And it's not showing up. But they have cute stuff in embroidery too. This is a needle minder, so it's magnetic. So when you're like need to put your stuff down, it just hugs there. But it's really neat. So I'm gonna knit them like across. And every day you kind of look at the rough outline and you're like, what stitch do I want to do this in? And I've got a really nice limited palette. I did not like dive into a hobby and go insane with how many things I buy. I do have some like in the basement, but I wanted to like grab a limited color palette and also just not tempt myself by like opening up the old stuff from when I was doing lots of cross stitch. So
Yeah.
these are my colors. I have
Oh, nice.
three greens, a white, a gold, and kind of I would call it like a cherry burgundy. If that I don't know how to describe it. It's a very dark but
Yeah.
kind of popping red. And so that's what I'm doing. The full like easier for you guys to see pattern would be like this.
Oh, fun.
And it's from someone called Embroidery. So like EM underscore BEA underscore Reutery. And if you just search the hashtag Adventrees with just one T, uh, this was her free pattern last year.
That's fun.
And so there's lots, what I like about it too is there's lots of versions of it. So I can go and look at a tree and be like, okay, so they did this stitch, they did that stitch. Like if I'm stumped, there's a couple where it's like, I know exactly what I want to do. And there's a bunch where I'm like, oh, I don't know. So that's something I'm doing. I just want, so I probably mentioned this on the audio podcast, but I have a knitting group that is actually an embroidery group. So I
That's
adopted
right.
them. They meet weekly. Well, actually, they go multiple times a week. I love this lifestyle. To my favorite coffee shop, and I go Mondays, and I mostly embroider or mostly knit, and hang out with them while they embroider. But I mean, they are people passionate about handcrafting, about color, about texture, about pursuit of excellence, and like constantly growing. And they all have dabbled in knitting at the very least, and I've dabbled in embroidery. And so, like, it was inevitable that I was going to start to do more embroidery. And I am looking for this Advent thing just to get me, like, I don't want to become overly precious about it and like have to pick the perfect stitch and get it perfectly right. I just want to get going and doing and having
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And so that's what this is about for me, is not over agonizing. It's just to do something handcrafted. And it's really powerfully good for me to have a handcrafting hobby that isn't so close to my business.
Yes.
It's like, if I can knit on personal knitting, why am I not knitting on work knitting? Can be
Yeah.
something that in my mind I have to like build a fence about, and then I have to maintain that fence. Whereas with embroidery, it's just like, no, this is playtime. Shut up. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
it's a little easier to play over there and not feel like I need to be learning things even from my like personal time,
Yeah.
and or like producing Instagram content or something. It's just like, no, it's just it's what it's called free time, Sarah. It's a bold concept.
Very funny.
Yes. So I think we're done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. We hope you have a great time. Early January, we're going to have a fantastic one because there's going to be all sorts of stuff finished. And I should have 5 socks at the very least.
Yeah.
I mean, by January. Yes.
It's true. It's true. We need to look at the calendar. But yes.
Yeah. So we'll see you all at the beginning of January. And in the meantime, stay safe and have fun making things with your hands.
Yeah. Happy month of